Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I talk about vintage, classic, affordable fragrances, and in this video I want to talk about warm autumnal florals. So floral fragrances that are a bit more on the sweet side and they're just perfect for this chilly autumnal weather. They might have some spices, some vanilla, some musk in the base, and they're just really warm and comforting. Cue in the intro. The first one is Organza by Givenchy, and I did recommend this in spring, but for me it works just as well in the autumn. This is beautiful. It's a very nice white floral vanilla scent with a walnut note, with a nutmeg note. It has a slight spiciness to it and it's just really edgy. This is not a fragrance for everyone. It's very bold. It's not your typical white floral, so you have to try this one. But when it dries down, you get a ton of this beautiful, sweet, almost gourmand vanilla. But the tuberose is still there and it has a slight greenness to it, especially in the opening. So this one, it really is a nice fragrance that develops throughout the day. It starts green and fresh and then it transitions into a beautiful, warm floral scent. I also pulled out my Micallef Mon Parfum Cristal, and this is the flanker to the original Mon Parfum, which was Martin Micallef's signature scent back in the 2000s, I believe. And this one is a more rosy, more jammy and a bit more gourmand version of the original. This one does have caramel. It has a very nice jammy rose note. It has some cinnamon, some spices, so it's just the perfect warm, comforting floral. And you only need 2 sprays of this one because it's extremely potent and it lasts 18 hours on my skin. Taking a shower won't wash off this one from your skin. You really need to scrub it off with soap. It's that strong. So I'm okay with having just a 30ml. This will last me a very long time. Unfortunately, it is discontinued, so you're going to have to find this one on eBay if you can still find it. I got mine about 6 months ago on the Micallef website for a steal because it was being obviously discontinued and it was on sale. The next one is Armani Si Intense, and this one is actually really similar to the Micallef one, but it's a C flanker, so it's also really similar to the original C. And this is just a delightful, fruity, jammy rose scent. It smells like a fruity champagne, as I said, but they really dialed up the sweetness. This is really sweet. I can really get that ethyl maltol sweetness. I'll put the name of that chemical on the screen because I've probably mispronounced it. This does have that modern designer sweetness that you can smell in most modern releases, but it's still interesting enough and pleasant enough for me to own because this is actually in my top 10. I simply adore the C DNA. I think it's one of the sexiest fragrances ever released for women, for men, for whoever wants to wear it. Obviously, fragrance knows no gender in my book, but this is not a rant about fragrance and gender, so let's not fly off on a tangent here, shall we? This one is Diamonds and Rubies from Elizabeth Taylor, and this is another gorgeous, warm, spicy, ambery, vanillic, musky floral. It's a Sophia Groisman creation. I've just recently added this to my collection and I adore it. You can already see a bit of a dent in it. I've worn it about 5 times, I think, and this is just the perfect cozy floral. It's perfect. What can I tell you? If you like fragrances like Tresor, SpellBound, Vanderbilt, you're going to love this one. And this one is even more mass appealing and easy to wear. You know, it has a nice sweetness, it has a nice powderiness, it's just ever so slightly old-fashioned, vintage smelling, 90s smelling, so if you don't like that, maybe avoid it, but still, I do think this is very mass appealing. So it survived to this day and it's still in production. So I highly recommend this one and I prefer it to the other flankers, which I will be decluttering, except for the one gifted to me by my friend Anna. That one I will keep, but the other ones I'll be decluttering. And I don't own White Diamonds at the moment. I want to own that one as well because that one is just the original, the classic one, and I love that one as well. So White Diamonds, another warm floral, for you to consider if you like Elizabeth Taylor scents. This next one is a very unusual choice, but to me, especially in the dry down, this is a very warm floral because it does have that vanilla and ylang ylang and civet. Civet is an animalic note that is very oily and very, very comforting on my skin. I just adore civet. And this is none other than Chanel No. 5, the Pure Perfume. This one is in the spray version. It comes in this black lacquered case. I also have the Pure Perfume bottle. That one's vintage. It smells very much identical to this one. Perhaps a bit more animalic, but this one is also absolutely gorgeous. The opening is aldehydic and fresh and strong, but the dry down is just a beautiful warm floral. And even though this is an abstract fragrance, it doesn't really smell like anything, but it also does at the same time. You know, Chanel No. 5 is just one that defies description, so I won't even attempt to do it justice in this video. I have a full dedicated review to the Parfum, the Extrait de Parfum, the Pure Perfume of No. 5. The next one is Classique from Gaultier. This is the original Eau de Toilette from the 90s. 1993 was the year this was released, I believe. Might have been 1992, don't quote me on that. But this is just a beautiful, warm, spicy, ambery, vanillic, floral. The main note, I think, is orange blossom, but this vintage version is heavier on the vanilla because the top notes are a bit degraded and the base notes are amplified. So this one is even warmer, and it's also a powder bomb. You know, this is supposed to evoke that boudoir, dressing room in a theatre feeling. And Gaultier did hit the nail on the head with this one. And already when it was released, he called it Classique, the classic one. And he wasn't wrong. This has become a classic, and it still is a classic. Some people may call it old-fashioned and old lady fragrance nowadays. Well, there's no cure for ignorance, is there? We've got two more fragrances, and they both happen to be Sophia Groisman creations. The first one is Yvresse, or the original Champagne from Yves Saint Laurent. And this is just the definition of a warm floral. This is the most beautiful, effervescent, fruity, spicy, ambery floral. It's a very, very soft chypre, but the main accord is definitely the floral accord. This is centered around rose and violet, and it has some lychee, some nectarine, some peach, some cinnamon, and obviously some oak moss, amber, vanilla in the base. It's just delectable and delightful, and it's a fragrance that really raises spirits when you wear this one. And this is the vintage version from the 90s, so it's very, very special. I just loved it. I love wearing this one when I have to go to a party maybe, and it's extremely potent. You only need a couple of sprays. You only need 2-3 sprays. This one will take you through the night as well as the next day. Last but not least, we've got SpellBound from Estée Lauder. This is from the early 90s, another Sophia Groisman creation. And this is also a warm, spicy, ambery, powdery floral. It's centered around the tuberose, and it's got some apricot in the opening. This is definitely a fragrance that has a bite to it when you spray it on, but when it dries down, this becomes the most beautiful, comforting, ambery, vanillic, animalic, floral scent. And I just love wearing this in the autumn. I love wearing this in the winter. I also wear it in the summer sometimes. You know, fragrance knows no season. You can wear it anytime you like. And this fragrance is a paradox. It's extremely strong. It's in your face. It's offensive, but it's also very, very comforting at the same time. If you have the patience to wait for the dry down and experience it properly. And let's face it, patience is a rare virtue these days in this fast-paced world. But taking the time to indulge in things, to enjoy the finer things in life, even if it's just going for a walk in the park, you know, that brings just so much joy to me. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave a comment down below, and I'll see you next week in my next video. Bye.